new awesome views of the version 3 booster internals at Massey's, a second ship transport stand spotted at Sanchez, the second level of steel goes up at the build site, and the foundation work for the new air separation unit is well underway at the launch site. Hey everybody, Jeff A here. Welcome to RGV Aerial Photography Starbase Flyover update number 109. This week's flight was well timed on November the 28th, as later in the day, clouds moved in and weather turned nasty. So once again, the RGV team captured another set of amazing images from 6,000 feet above Starbase. Let's start over at the Massey's test facility. Here's a labelled map to help you find your way around the site. Beginning at Booster 18, we can see its methane tank has been removed and now sits in multiple pieces on the ground. Crews have attached chain blocks to the damaged barrel sections to stop them flailing dangerously in the wind. With the methane tank removed, we now have a clear look at the LOX landing tank and its associated mounting hardware, including large struts and 2 additional reinforcement ribs mounted either side to the outer wall of the main LOX tank. We can also see the internal bracing for the methane downcomer, and a ladder that's used to access its lower sections during assembly. There's another ladder on the common dome section so workers can enter parts of the booster for construction and maintenance. Off to the side, we can see that both of the QDs have been disconnected. As these new images are being released, be sure to keep an eye out on the many talented 3D artists in our community for more detailed insights into the new version 3 booster's design. Moving to Ship Test Article 39.1, we can see it's still on its SPMTs, and the ventilation hose has been readied to give workers air when they start work inside the tank to prepare it for its upcoming test campaign. With the new test article previously fitted with an adapter ring at the factory, the newly constructed one being moved from here could indicate that another test article is being built. With the entire site being mostly shut down following the B18 event, there are no other changes to report. So let's move over to the Sanchez site. First, let's look over a site map to see where all the points of interest are located. Take a moment to pause if you need some extra time. The conversion of the second booster transport stand continues. This week we can see all 20 hold-down arms have been installed. The 20 clamps for them are now staged to the side. Looking quickly over the previously converted stand at the rocket garden, it appears that cameras have been mounted to 4 of the arms, which in theory will better allow for automated operations. Looking at the first ship transport stand, there's no visible progress. This week, the first pieces for a second ship transport stand have been spotted. Looking at the ship's static fire stand maintenance platform, work seems to have stopped, suggesting that it's ready for integration. The top 2 beams have been altered on the first set of cross-beam structures and the second without visible changes. There are no notable changes to the SQD extension this week. Nearby, the truss section seen here last week is now staged at the Highway 4 storage lot, and assembly of a new one has begun. At the rocket garden, more remnants of B-17 have been put in the scrapyard area, including barrel sections and downcomer pieces. I wonder what will be next for the chopping block. Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. There is a set of boosted chine installation elevator support beams here, which could indicate that work on converting the work stands in Mega Bay 1 is ongoing. Some other items of interest are the old version 2 transport stand clamps and the aft of a ship landing tank. Before moving to the build site, we'd like to thank all of our YouTube and Patreon members. Remember, all the patrons get to participate in our Discord show and tell sessions on the same day of each flight. Here you can join in the discussions and ask your own questions. YouTube members also get to watch and listen in with a live chat function. At the Gigabay, construction of the second level has commenced on both the right and left sides of the structure. On the factory side, this new level includes tabs for the first external crossbeams for the speculated openings to the factory. It's more obvious this week that only the centre and garage side stations will have intermediate levels for crew to work off for the fitting out phase of construction. Staircases have also been installed in the corners to provide secondary access for personnel working within the building. Moving to Mega Bay 1, where a steady series of barrel sections have been delivered for the stacking of Booster 19. As I record this, 5 sections have been rolled in for stacking, comprising the CX3 Common Dome section and the A2 to A5 barrel sections. Booster 19 now stands at a height of 19 rings. SpaceX sure aren't hanging around building this booster. Thanks to Lab Padre and Vix for these video clips. Taking a quick look at the apartment building, work has begun progressing on glass installation, as well as framing work for installing cladding similar to what is on the parking garage. Now let's move over to the launch site. Here's a labelled map from this week's images. Pause the video if you need more time to look it over. Starting at Pad 2, the flame trench is nearing completion. Work to seal all the seams appears to be done. At the base of the service structure, the left side door was still missing during the flyover. On November 30th, it was installed after sitting for a couple of weeks. Above, we can see the LOX BQT hood installed as reported in the previous video. The methane hood would be removed on December 1st for additional checks. Near the end of the trench, the suspected spacer seals remain staged here, suggesting the LOX hood may be removed again if they are still needed. At the top of the mount, the hold-down arms are retracted this week. With testing complete, the top door covers for each clamp arm may be installed soon. Moving to the tower, the SQD arm is installed, awaiting the extension being prepared at Sanchez. At the D1 entrance, the white tent has been relocated to the new concrete pad poured several weeks ago. Additional utilities have been installed near the entrance. With the tent moved, this last line of temporary barriers may be removed and replaced with a poured retention wall. At the Pad 2 water deluge farm, systems haven't seen any significant work. The water supply pipes are starting to be painted, which will be a pleasant change from the green rust-proof coating. Cleanup of the decommissioned tank farm hardware is nearly complete. The 2 disconnected tanks still wait to be removed. At the end near the new methane tanks, the box culvert used for pipes and utilities for the LOX pump farm was removed with an empty trench remaining. At Pad 1, we can see the right chopstick has also been shortened. Below, evidence that a launch mount once stood here is fading. Several pieces of the upper legs await scrapping. Along the edge of the pad, other pieces of the launch mount legs have been cut into smaller pieces. The stubs for the 6 legs have also been cut down to the deluge plate, which is no longer covered in the dirt used to soften the impact from the mount demolition. The Pad 1 deluge farm has seen the removal of the high pressure manifolds as well as the water offload manifolds. The weir pipes would be next to go. One of them was lifted from its position on December 1st and the other has likely been removed since the writing of this episode. As we finish this week's flyover, let's take a moment to check on the progress of the air separation unit. The large pad for the compressor equipment is in the process of being poured. Around the perimeter and at 2 points in the middle are boxed out locations, likely for structural columns of the building. 2 additional areas have rebar protruding for concrete walls to be placed on the slab. Further to the right, another large pad is being prepared with formwork and rebar to support the other systems. And in what seems repetitive at this point, the western strip of the site also has formwork for a concrete slab being prepared. Well, that's it for episode 109 of Starbase Flyover Update. Thank you for choosing to fly with RGB aerial photography, and we hope you all enjoyed the flight. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe for more episodes and content so you don't miss out on new videos each week, and leave a thumbs up. If you like your content in a longer, more detailed form, please join us on Saturdays at midday Central Time for our live stream on YouTube. To receive the latest images and to join in the conversations on the day they are taken, please consider joining RGV's Patreon. And finally, if you've made it this far, you can check out all the previous Flyover updates here. I'm Jeff A, and I'll see you next week from 6,000 feet.